Welcome to the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. Super Talk Mississippi 93.7 Spotlight is on Northwest Community College, and you can listen to our live stream at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. Here's your host, Gary Darby.
(9:17) Thursday. That means the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. Dakoyta Lesure is on the phone with us. She is the main campus's SGA president, and Dakoyta joins me now. Good morning, lady. How are you?
Good morning. I'm wonderful. How are you?
Things are good. You know, people just hear us when we get on the air, right? And we start talking a little bit about things, but we've been having a great conversation about New Albany, Mississippi, haven't we?
Yes.
It's a small world, right? I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen you in person. You probably have never seen me, but all of a sudden, reeling off the connections and things because you are from New Albany and the things that I do in that area as well. So now we're friends, and now we'll just chat a little bit about everything. So we want to welcome you to the show. And I guess my question is this. Growing up in New Albany, you probably had friends going to Northeast, to Itawamba, going to Ole Miss, Mississippi State. What drew you, Dakoyta, to Northwest Community College?
You're right. Honestly, my brother came here before I did, but I also had a couple of family members that came here and they were very involved. And so just seeing them and talking to them about colleges and stuff, it drew me towards here because like the logo is, home away from home. So this is what drew me here. I love the environment here. It's a very good school. I find myself active in just about everything. So just family and friends joined me, and them coming here and having their own experiences, I would say, drew me here.
Obviously, we've mentioned the area where you grew up and got over here, but what all are you involved in? What all, and have you always been that through high school and everything? Have you always been one that wanted to be the student government president? Did you want to be involved in every group you could?
Yes. I actually started in high school doing different clubs and organizations. Now, here on campus, I am involved in the TRIO Student Support Services program. I'm the SGA president. Last year, I actually served as secretary, and then I ran in April for SGA president. And I did various speaking engagements on campus, just overall getting involved.
Do you have political aspirations one day?
At one point I did, but as I got closer and I was like, "Ooh, this is not for me."
See, I have a daughter, and I told her when she was age 16, right, and she was doing these kinds of things and whatever, that she was going to get into politics, and she's like, "I don't think so." She did, but she got in she helps run campaigns, she helps fundraise, she helps do things like that. But she didn't want to be the one at the podium trying to get elected, after getting in it as well. What do you do? What is a day for the SGA president? What do you do for that college?
Here at Northwest, a typical day, waking up, I go to class first, and then on Tuesdays is when we actually meet with the whole SGA. That's me, the vice president, secretary, senator, and then just the other members, and we discuss upcoming plans. We do voting on different things we want to see happen on our campus, and afterwards I'll probably go to the student support services, just hang out and talk with other students, meet up with other meetings. Sometimes I have two meetings a day sometimes, but that's what it consists of, just class, and then on that Tuesday my meetings, and then other than that, homework, study time, period time, trying to balance all of that in a day. It's pretty tiresome, but overall I'm pretty busy majority of the time. Right,
and then you got to try and be a normal college student at some point of the day, too, and have a little fun. So let me ask you, and I don't know if there's a large project, or if there's a large something that you have done as the president, or the college may be moving towards because you have recommended, or you and that whole governing body have recommended as the SGA. What is something you're proud of that you've now served as president and you've watched the college do, or may start to do because of your leadership?
Let me see. I would say right now the biggest thing is probably student activity. The biggest thing that we did, I wasn't present at the time, but one thing I did help do was we hosted the sneaker ball last year. Mm-hmm. We were the first student government, or the first students on Northwest actually able to host a student event in the Haraway Center. You know, they normally use the Haraway Center for meetings and Rotary events, like big events, and alumni club organizations and things of that nature. So we were actually the first. I did help do that. We were the first group to ever host a student event held in the Haraway Center, and I think that was pretty awesome.
Dakoyta Lesure is with us. And with that, I mean, you're coming through high school and now into college through these pandemic years, and it's been quite different for those of you of that age. I have heard multiple people, whether it's staff members or moms and dads who have students there, that thought the sneaker ball was one of the best things that's happened, just because you guys, yes, did what you did, but you had an actual event you could go to and you could get out and do some things again. That had to be uplifting for everybody and pretty fun to just, hey, we get to do something again live and see each other, you know?
Right. It was definitely a great feeling to be able to, you know, do something and out of fun and in a respectful manner, of course, to the school. But we had an awesome time. I think that was a pretty big hit.
So, Dakoyta, you are in between classes and getting a chance to talk with me. What is your major? What is your course of study right now?
I am a biology major.
Okay. Biology. So where are we going with that?
I want to become a dermatologist. That's my plan for right now. I'm sticking to it. It's pretty rough, but I'm sticking to it.
So is it labs? Because here's a guy who has now taught for a living for 30-plus years, okay, who started out in pharmacy. I liked it. I thought it was okay, but for whatever reason, and I just wasn't good at time management. People know this story. They hear it over and over. And labs and me, we just didn't get along, right? Maybe it was the time of day those labs were. I don't know. You know, different things where on a day like today, I didn't want to be in a lab at 2:00 in the afternoon. My lab, I wanted to be outside, right? I wanted to be outside being that normal student. What is it that's been tough for you, but at the same time, you like that challenge and want to stick with it?
I would say mainly the amount of material having to remember. The labs have never really been a problem. I think the toughest part about the lab was when I had one last semester. It was like 1 to 4. That's about the toughest thing, but that was a chemistry lab. But other than that, everything is pretty, just remembering everything. It's a lot of material.
Sure, absolutely. Dakoyta, let me ask you this. Once you're done with Northwest Community College, we now know we're going to be a dermatologist, but where's the next step for you? A 4-year institution, and do you have that in mind?
Yes. As of now, my plans are to attend Jackson State University after I leave Northwest. Excellent.
So headed to JSU and getting to watch, well, maybe Deion Sanders will still be coaching. See, I'm a sports guy, and I hear DSU, and I'm thinking Deion Sanders and a great football team and things like that. You're trying to get that education and do it the right way. So now let's just say there's a prospective student that might be listening to the program or might hear this podcast later on, or we have a parent of someone who's thinking about going to school, or for that matter, an adult who wants to come back and go to school. What would you say to them to help draw them to Northwest?
Northwest is an amazing school. Let's start there. It's an amazing school, and I would say we have one of the top nursing programs, and just all of the programs and the majors that we offer. It's a variety of everything. So in this school, there is an opportunity available for everyone. Even if you don't know exactly what you want to major in, like there is something that fits you. And then we have an amazing student body. We have amazing advisors that will help you gear you towards where you would like to go. There's a lot of people that come here that don't know exactly what, but just them being here in the environment and being around people that do not mind helping, they leave here in a happy place. They leave here knowing, and they find their way through. So Northwest is an amazing school, offers amazing organizations, amazing education, one of the top schools in the state. So I would encourage you to give it a try. Northwest is a place for you.
Absolutely. And soon to be a place for Chick-fil-A. And come on, why don't you want to go to a campus that's got a Chick-fil-A on it, right?
Right.
Making a joke there, obviously, but I saw the pictures and things and the people walking through the building and doing those kinds of things, but you're right about everything you have told us today about Northwest. I know you've got to move on, go to a class and continue that education. Best of luck to you, and maybe we'll run into one another over in Union County somewhere along the way.
Right.
Dakota, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's our Student Government Association President, Dakota Lesure. Made her way from New Albany over to the Northwest campus. And now she's leading as the president of the SGA, studying biology, wants to be a dermatologist, and just put them in line. Another great student with a great interview on this program. We'll see what Dr. Carolyn Wiley can do for us next. She's up.
You're listening to the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. Your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College on SuperTalk Mississippi 93.7 and stream live at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour.
Well, friends, it's the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour for your Thursday edition. You know, yesterday we talked with Brian Lentz on our Wednesday program about athletics and different things. We have now talked with a student on the perspective there. And now we'll get our friend Dr. Carolyn Wiley back on the program as we'll talk enrollment. We'll talk achieving the dream. We'll talk, I don't know, lots of things, I guess. What do you want to talk about? Yeah.
Let's talk about our amazing enrollment.
All right, let's start there. Good news, I assume.
It's amazing news. We are actually up in enrollment for the first time in like 13 years at 8.7% in head count. We are just so excited. We were up a little bit in the spring, and so we were kind of sensing this turnaround. Really excited us. We were up this summer. We were very excited about that. And then now this fall, we're up 8.7%. And one of the few community colleges in the state that are getting the benefit of experiencing this enrollment growth. And so we are very excited, very proud.
Let's brag about that a little bit more and kind of delve into why you think this is happening, right? Other than we know it's a good product. We talk about it every Thursday.
Right.
We know that it's there on every level, no matter what it is, what the product is like. But why do you think the big growth has happened slowly there, as you mentioned, and then now the up over 8.5%? Why do you think this is?
I think people are returning to college after the pandemic. We had some high schoolers who didn't opt to go straight to college out of high school. They're showing up. We had adult learners who were putting it off because they weren't quite sure maybe about online learning. They're coming back. So whereas a lot of our growth during the pandemic was in e-learning, we're actually seeing growth on our campuses. Senatobia, DeSoto, Oxford is level. We're seeing growth at our new campuses, such as Panola Concourse, Everest, Ashland, Olive Branch. So, we're really, I think, seeing people come back to college that were hesitant during those 2 years during the height of the pandemic.
Carolyn, I was going to talk about, as you just mentioned, it's broad, whatever the age or whatever the place. But the question that I did want to get to you is about the technical degrees and the things, because there has been that large push around the country, right? It really has, about the great jobs, the great paying jobs, and how Northwest has exploded through that. So, I mean, we had growth in other areas, but that obviously has to be a big factor at Northwest.
Absolutely. In fact, that was where our largest growth was. Like, in fact, if you break it down by those students who are working on a degree that's going to transfer directly to a university versus students that are working on a degree that's intended to go into the workforce, which is our technical degrees, our health science degrees. Those students in those degrees, that enrollment's up 9.1%.
Wow. And I don't know how many times that we have talked with people that are, teaching those particular courses, or whether it has been a dean, whether it's the Oxford campus, the DeSoto campus, Senatobia campus, that those in those technical courses are actually able to work have jobs, do those jobs that they're learning at the same time, or boom, they're immediately hired as soon as that coursework is done. And so I think that has to be attractive to people too. I can get
absolutely.
right. I can get the education, work at the same time, make money at the same time, and then make more money when I get on out.
Often we're having to encourage the employers to let them graduate. Like, give them one more month, and then they can come work to you, because often they have jobs before they leave. Like our nurses, I don't want to misquote her, so I won't give the exact number, but our director of nursing was sharing with us just the other day that a large majority of her graduating class already have jobs. They're just waiting to get that degree before they actually start going to work, but they've already signed contracts.
Isn't that great?
Amazing.
That is
so amazing.
Yeah, that is great, and has to be a tremendous recruiting tool for a school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's so interesting now, we typically thought of these technical degrees as not transferring onto a 4-year. And the academic degrees is the one that transfer onto a 4-year. But now our 4-year universities in Mississippi are accepting these technical credits and transferring onto a bachelor's of applied science. So they can go into the workforce. Often, like I said, they've got jobs before they even go, before they even graduate. But now, let's say they decide they want to continue their education. Those credits count towards a 4-year degree now in many instances. So there's just so many opportunities for anybody that starts at Northwest, whether they want to go straight into the workforce or they want to continue a 4-year degree, or they change their mind halfway through about which their direction is.
Our friend and Associate Vice President for Academic Instruction and Institutional Effectiveness, long title on the business card, Carolyn Wiley is with us. Okay, talk about the Achieving the Dream coaches and bring us back up to date on that, because I know we spoke on that. It's been months, so give us some info.
It has, and we're so excited about this grant. We got a grant with Achieving the Dream, which is a nonprofit organization that really focuses on community college student success. And this particular grant is about building resiliency in rural communities for the digital economy. So we're looking at how do we bring on new programs that help support the digital economy? How do we reduce barriers to students enrolling in these? And then once they're here at Northwest, how do we make sure that they are going to be successful? And so we've done several initiatives in that vein. And in fact, our coaches are going to be here Thursday and Friday to really go through our action plan to help us make sure that we are on the right track, which I truly believe we are. And we're very excited for the support and resources that this grant gives us to make sure that our students are successful, because that's ultimately all of our goals.
Let's also discuss, before I let you go and we try and finish up today's program, the training and the professional development that you're doing with instructors as well?
Absolutely. So our instructors pour their hearts out into our students, and we wanted to do the same for them. And so we've partnered with the Association of College and University Educators, AQ, and they provide the literal best, top-notch professional development for our instructors so that they can really hone their practice, learn new best practices that they may not have been as familiar with. And we partnered with them. Our instructors are taking these courses, and we're able now to pour into them in the same way that they are pouring into our students. And they'll actually be able to earn a national credential. And we're so excited because our first cohort will be finishing up their national credential here in 2 weeks.
So I'll let you, if you have any final message or thing that you would like to talk about, brag on, and then we'll finish our talk today. What's on your mind?
Well, as much as enrollment is already increasing, we've got second mini-term starting mid-October. So if someone is hearing this and wants to be involved in all of the fabulous things that are going on at Northwest, you can sign up today and get started in classes here in 2 weeks, both on campus and online. And then we're going to have our winter term coming up too, and that winter term schedule will be going out here very shortly, here in the next 2 weeks. So you can sign up for a 4-week class over the winter break. So we're very excited to have anybody come and join us. It's amazing things we're doing at Northwest.
Carolyn, great information for the people. Thanks for doing this again.
Awesome. Thank you, Gary.
More of the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour when we return.
We're talking Rangers this hour. Thanks for joining us for the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. It's a special conversation about Northwest Community College. There's a campus near you and more to come. And you can join the conversation by texting 662-426-1093.
All right, friends, thanks for listening to the program, especially in that middle part where I'm doing things with the computer, I'm doing things on a cell phone, I'm doing things on another computer, and you may have heard me stall and stump and move and stumble at times. We thank you. However, you're a part of this program, listening on Supertalk 93.7, whether you're streaming us somewhere, supertalk.fm, Supertalk North MS, the Alexa device, and always you can text message to the litcometals.com studio, 662-426-1093. Follow me on Twitter at gdarb65, or find the old Facebook page, North Mississippi Spotlight with Gary Darby. I'm done, boys and girls. Enjoy Thursday. We talk Friday at 9:06. So long.